Welcome to This Explainer. Today, we're diving into a business battle that is honestly just fascinating. We're looking at Carrier, the literal inventor of the modern air conditioner, and how they're fighting as an underdog in India's incredibly competitive, rapidly growing cooling market. It is a classic tale of a legacy multinational having to completely rip up and rewrite its playbook to win over a brand new generation of consumers.
We've got a lot of ground to cover. We'll start with India's booming cooling market, then look at the inventor turned underdog, unpack Carrier's strategic playbook, assess their strengths, weaknesses, and rivals, and finally, map out their path to growth. Let's get right into it. First up, India's booming cooling market. To really understand this battlefield, we gotta look at the environment. And wow, the environment is heating up in literally every sense of the word. Driven by some pretty extreme heat waves, a rapidly expanding middle class, and intense urbanization, the demand for ACs is absolutely surging in India right now. But, it's not just about blasting cold air into a room anymore. It's about doing it responsibly. Thanks to government initiatives like the India Cooling Action Plan and the push for 2070 net zero targets, everyone is pivoting toward energy-efficient, sustainable solutions. And this is a big deal, because figuring out sustainable cooling in India, well, that provides a blueprint for the rest of our warming world. Which brings us to the core tension of our story today. Section 2, the inventor turned underdog. Take a look at how this market is actually carved up. You've got local giant Voltas capturing roughly 20%, Daikin right on their heels at around 18%, and then there's Carrier. They're squeezed into this tiny single-digit slice, trailing significantly in that 5 to 8% challenger tier. Now, for a brand with Carrier's historical weight, getting lumped near the others category? Yeah, that is a massive wake-up call. A huge pivot was needed. Because the contrast here is just wild. Back in 1902, Willis Carrier literally invented the modern air conditioner. Fast forward to 2025, and the brand is undergoing this massive global rebrand with the tagline, "For the world we share," leaning heavily into sustainability. But over in India, in April 2025, they had to launch a super aggressive celebrity-driven campaign just to fight for local relevance. It's crazy to think about, but the inventor is now the challenger. So, how exactly does a legacy brand shake up the status quo? Let's check out Section 3, Carrier's Strategic Playbook. They changed the conversation by bringing on popular actress Rashmika Mandanna with this seriously punchy tagline in April 2025, which translates to, "This isn't an air conditioner, it's an AI conditioner." Carrier Media is totally flipping its consumer narrative. They're stepping away from just talking about basic cooling because, everyone offers that. Instead, they are pushing smart, high-tech features. They aren't just selling cold air anymore, they're selling a digital lifestyle. It's a full 360-degree campaign across TV, digital, and retail, all designed to make the brand feel emotionally relatable and super modern. And what's clever is how they're attacking the market from two completely different angles. On the consumer side, they're pushing the Midea joint venture brand, really zooming in on smart tech, Wi-Fi connectivity, and those emotional celebrity campaigns. But flip over to the institutional, B2B side, and they lean heavily into Carrier's deep historical heritage. Here, it's all about commercial cold chain solutions and thought leadership at national symposia. It is a very precise, two-pronged attack. Basically, their entire strategic playbook rests on three distinct pillars. First up is innovation, which you see in their FlexiCool tech and that AI messaging we just talked about. Second is sustainability. This is absolutely crucial for hitting those Government Bureau of Energy Efficiency, or BEE, star ratings and reducing refrigerant use. And third is reliability. They aren't just shipping boxes in from overseas, they are actively emphasizing their local manufacturing scale, with facilities in places like Maharashtra. That is key for avoiding heavy import taxes and proving to consumers that they're here to stay.
And here's where the strategy gets really cool on the ground. Their cold chain initiatives aren't just corporate speak. They are happening right now, creating real economic impact. By rolling out refrigerated trucks, they're actually helping fish farmers in Assam reduce food waste and get their products to market safely. It is a perfect example of global expertise stepping in to solve incredibly localized problems. But no strategy exists in a vacuum. Let's move on to Section 4, Strengths, Weaknesses, and Rivals. Carrier definitely brings unmatched global climate expertise and Medea's manufacturing efficiencies to the table. But look at who they're up against. They have to battle Voltas, a local giant that absolutely dominates through a massive distribution network and super budget-friendly pricing. Then there's Daikin, fiercely defending that premium Japanese tech perception.
Carrier is trying to carve out its own unique space using AI and smart storytelling, sure, but shifting historical consumer habits? That is going to require absolutely flawless execution to take on these entrenched leaders.
So, what's next? Let's wrap this up by looking at Section 5, the path to growth.
To turn that single-digit market share into actual dominance, Carrier needs to aggressively execute on 4 main things. First off, distribution is king. None of their marketing matters if they don't expand their post-sales service networks to match Voltas. Second, they've got to prove that these flashy celebrity campaigns are actually turning awareness into sales. Third, they need to leverage government production-linked incentive, or PLI schemes, to keep their pricing incredibly competitive. And finally, they need to lean way harder into direct-to-consumer e-commerce. Basically, they have to evolve from their product-centric past into a highly dynamic, emotion-driven brand.
Carrier is brilliantly positioned for India's cooling boom right now, especially by aligning with sustainability trends and smart technology. But ask yourself, is a legacy of invention, a smart AI campaign, and a joint venture actually enough to unseat the current market kings who already live in the homes of millions? It is going to be a thrilling battle to watch. Thanks for joining me on this explainer, and keep asking the big questions.